Sri Lanka's ancient cascade systems are among human history's most extraordinary feats of ecological design. Tracing back to 1500 BC, ancient engineers built a network of small and large reservoirs, known locally as wewas and collectively as elanga, or the cascade system. Each tank had a specific function to collect, filter, store, and release water, supporting both people and wildlife. As introduced to us by Professor Nishan of the University of Kelaniya, the true intent of the cascade was to be useful for all of life. There were tanks for forests, temples, agriculture, and drinking water. The tanks, he explained, are not in competition with the environment. They are part of it. The elephants, birds, trees, and people all share the same water. As part of a 5-year program to restore cascade water systems, Green Empowerment and our partners SIBAT, PACOS, and TONIBUNG visited Janathakshan's work with partner communities. When we arrived at the tanks in Giribawa and Nochchiyagama, the natural reservoirs were breathtaking. The tanks were massive structures, water contained by bunds made of earth and natural materials, surrounded by farmland and enjoyed by hundreds of birds and wildlife. Each tank, depending on its size, sustains 40 to 200 farming families. It is believed that there are over 30,000 tanks across Sri Lanka, concentrated in the dry zone. It has supported people for thousands of years during its annual prolonged dry season. Professor Nishan noted that even after its disrepair, 1/3 of Sri Lanka's total food production to this day comes from the cascades. They remain the country's most reliable defense against climate change. As one participant reflected, Egypt has the pyramids and Sri Lanka has the cascade system. Examples of human ingenuity that still serve communities today. All of us visiting partners represent indigenous communities. We marveled how the cascades, as a life-saving infrastructure, comes from traditional wisdom. It affirms that the future and climate solutions will come from indigenous knowledge, from returning to what people before us already knew, and repairing broken systems with indigenous architecture. Participatory approaches are a central part of Janathakshan's work. In tank rehabilitation, farmer organizations play a leading role in construction. Janathakshan provides training on technical skills and project management. They also establish multi-sectoral audit committees with representatives from the farmer organization, the community, Janathakshan, and the government to oversee project progress and spending. On site, transparency was not just a process, it was a community practice. At the entrance of each tank, large signboards disclosed the total project budget, funders, and organizations responsible. In one structure that we saw, a newly built stairway was labeled with cost items. Janathakshan adopted this model intentionally, noting that nation building with trust and accountability starts at the grassroots. When we arrived at project sites, we were always welcomed by the farmers' organization or the women's society that took charge of their project. There was a strong sense of ownership and pride as they introduced us to their work. They told us about Shramadan, a traditional practice of people providing voluntary communal labor mobilized to support tank construction. In Warawewa, the chairperson of the farmers' organization noted that their hands-on involvement ensured quality and cost efficiency while deepening their understanding of tank management. This turned restoration work into a learning process, strengthening technical capacity and confidence at the village level. To bolster communities' climate resilience, the project integrates climate-smart agriculture and women-led enterprises with cascade restoration. We visited women's groups who transformed their farms with micro-irrigation, soil enhancement, and intercropping techniques that increased farm productivity. They diversified their farms with coconut, passion fruit, chili, and onions, which helps buffer against crop failure. They also produced their own seeds and organic fertilizer. A technical officer from the Department of Agriculture provides training and guidance alongside Janathakshan. and a WhatsApp group gave the farmers access to immediate technical support. The project's goal is to support women into becoming agri-entrepreneurs within 2 to 3 years. One group had started negotiating a deal with larger buyers, including a nationwide grocery chain. Women's groups expressed pride in leading their own project, a first for many, and shared how this has strengthened family unity and challenged traditional gender norms. Beyond increased income, they spoke of skills gained, their aspirations for the future, and stronger bonds of sisterhood in their joint enterprises. Underlying project success is Janathakshan's approach that weaves local leadership with government collaboration. Before each construction project begins, Janathakshan organizes joint planning sessions with the relevant government departments, divisional secretariats, and the farmer societies. As cascades are a shared public resource, government officers are part of the entire process. During the visit, we met with a member of the parliament and officers at the divisional secretariat of Giribawa. They emphasized support for the project and shared equal commitment to cascade rehabilitation. Toward shared accountability, a cascade water management committee was formed in each divisional secretariat, which brings together farmers, administrators, and technical officers to collectively make decisions on water management. Visiting partners marveled at the equal partnership between government, nonprofit organizations, and communities. The collaboration is not only efficient, but it sustains the infrastructure and is empowering for the collective. At the end of the visit, participants reflected on what they had witnessed: the depth of local knowledge, the pride of farmers and women's groups, and the spirit of collaboration across institutions. In one community, the farmers' organization invited us to plant trees. The representative said, "We want to remember the day that you visited us. We will all keep the memories." A visiting partner summarized it simply: "Technology can be learned anywhere, but what we witnessed here, the trust, transparency, and participation, that's what truly sustains a project." As we stood by the reservoir, watching birds over the water, we resonated that the answers to the climate challenge are among us, in the ingenuity of communities, traditional knowledge passed down through generations, and the shared commitment to what sustains life.